අද්විතීය 200 Mbps ස්පීඩ් එකකින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ වේගවත්ම සහ පුළුල්තම හෝම් බ්‍රෝඩ්බෑන්ඩ් සම්බන්ධතාවය වන SLT මොබිටෙල් දේශීය ෆයිබර් බලවේගය ඔබත් අදම අත්විඳින්න.
හරිම සුදුයි.
Tonight on First at 9, this Saturday the 2nd of September 2023. Sustainability. Sri Lanka to utilize renewable energy for green hydrogen transformation, says Minister of Power and Energy. Boosting exports. Sri Lanka launches second coconut triangle in the northern province with expectation to expand coconut cultivation by another 50,000 acres. Fighting inflation. Global finance rates Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe among A-grade governors. Inclement weather. Prevailing rainfall conditions to continue, forecasts the Met Department, but water sources still at risk.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සොඩයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
Rhino Cement Roofing Sheets. හොඳම මෙලට කල් පවතින වහරයක්.
This is AdaDerana First at 9 with Indivadi Amawata. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
And a warm welcome. You're joining us this Saturday on your primetime English news service, and we take you to your top stories tonight. Sri Lanka unveiled a second coconut triangle covering Jaffna, Mannar and Mullaitivu districts in the northern province in a ceremony held in Jaffna today. While expanding the coconut cultivation in Sri Lanka by 50,000 acres with the introduction of the triangle, the government aims to increase coconut products-based export revenue annually by 2.5 million, or rather 25 million US dollars. Addressing the event, Minister of Plantation Industries Dr. Ramesh Patirana said 3.5 million coconut saplings will be planted in the next 2 years, covering the entire northern province.
In an effort to expand Sri Lanka's coconut cultivation and enable more export revenue from coconut-based products exports, the Minister of Plantation Industries unveiled Sri Lanka's second coconut triangle in the northern province. Jaffna, Mannar and Mullaitivu districts are covered in the second coconut triangle. With the establishment of the coconut triangle in the northern province, the Minister of Plantation Industries aims to expand the country's coconut cultivation by another 50,000 acres. Within a period of 10 years, the ministry aims to increase coconut output by 130 million nuts to ensure that production needs of the coconut industry are met. Further, the government aims to improve coconut products-based export revenue annually by 25 million US dollars. The unveiling ceremony of the new coconut triangle took place today at the Palay Coconut Model Garden in Jaffna.
Sri Lanka's National Hydrogen Roadmap, prepared by the Petroleum Development Authority of Sri Lanka and Greeniston Hydrogen India, with US aid assistance, was presented to Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara. According to the subject minister, Sri Lanka has recognized that green hydrogen offers a unique opportunity to ensure energy security and energy independence, while energy affordability and equity and environmental sustainability in Sri Lanka will also be assured. The Power and Energy Minister also highlighted that Sri Lanka hopes to utilize the immense potential in renewable energy for green hydrogen transformation.
Sri Lanka's National Hydrogen Roadmap was presented to Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara at his ministry yesterday. This development comes a week after the launch of the offshore wind roadmap for Sri Lanka. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, the subject minister highlighted that the roadmap was presented by the Petroleum Development Authority of Sri Lanka and Greeniston Hydrogen India with the assistance of the US aid. The minister noted Sri Lanka recognizes that green hydrogen offers a unique opportunity to tackle three significant socio-economic challenges, which are energy security and energy independence, energy affordability and equity, and environmental sustainability. He added that green hydrogen offers a potential solution for significantly contributing to the transition towards a low-carbon economy, mitigating climate change and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. The report on the National Hydrogen Roadmap outlines a 26-year plan for Sri Lanka until 2048. From 2022 to 2025, the report recommends policy regulation, demonstration and offshore studies via steps such as assessing domestic standards, publishing safety standards, initiating the Climate Change University through the Hydrogen Center of Excellence, concluding offshore energy studies, and finalizing offshore energy commercial contracts. From 2025 to 2028, the report recommends to focus on domestic ramp-up, supply and offshore blocks through the activation of medium-scale market and target demand sectors such as mobility, industry and ports, development of supply chains and infrastructure, development of a hydrogen distribution network, and demand assessment for price parity. For 7 years from 2028 and 2035, the report on the National Hydrogen Roadmap recommends the leverage scale for expansion in domestic consumption and production scaling up, green ammonia manufacturing and export of green hydrogen and derivatives. The report suggests the development of large-scale green hydrogen and increased penetration in the mobility sector and ports. It also noted the expansion of the network of the green hydrogen dispensing stations and commercialization of offshore wind and green fuel production to meet export potential. From 2035 to 2048, the report recommendation is the green hydrogen market stabilization and capitalization of export markets. To achieve this target, the report recommends to stabilize domestic demand, scale up green ammonia volumes and stabilize green ammonia fuel exports, and increase volumes with further offshore wind development. Along with the offshore wind roadmap presented last week, Minister Kanchan Wijesekara said that Sri Lanka hopes to utilize the immense potential in renewable energy for green hydrogen transformation.
The United Nations assured its continuous support towards the development process of Sri Lanka. This assurance was given to Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena by President or Resident Representative of the United Nations Office in Sri Lanka during a meeting at the Temple Trees. While explaining steps taken to address the grievances of the people who suffered from a 30-year-long civil war in Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan Premier pointed out that over 95% of lands that were taken over during the period of conflict in the north and east have been returned to their original owners.
Resident Representative of the United Nations Office in Sri Lanka, Marc-Andre Franch, called on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees yesterday. While expressing his appreciation for Sri Lanka's economic recovery from an unprecedented economic crisis during the last 2 years, the UN Resident Representative assured continuous support for the development process of the island nation. He cautioned that the next couple of years will be difficult for most of the countries in the world, including Sri Lanka, due to a global economic downturn. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena meanwhile said that several steps have been taken to increase food production and ensure food security. The Prime Minister also briefed the UN Resident Representative on the steps taken to solve the grievances of the people who suffered during the 3-decade-long conflict, adding that over 95% of the lands that were taken over during the conflict in the north and east have been returned to the owners. He added that the landmines were removed in order to help the farmers to cultivate. He acknowledged that the Office of Missing Persons and other institutions have made remarkable progress in their work and steps will be taken to expedite the remaining.
International cooperation and assistance to combat crimes related to drugs is not forthcoming owing to laws on the death penalty in Sri Lanka. Deputy Inspector General in charge of the Police Legal Division, Asanga Karavita, pointed out that owing to the death penalty as a punishment in Sri Lanka for drug trafficking and murders, international law enforcement agencies have rejected assistance and cooperation to ongoing efforts to apprehend criminals overseas. Speaking at a parliamentary committee meeting, the Secretary of the Ministry of Public Security, V. Gunathalaka, said that prisons in Sri Lanka have enabled criminals to carry out their criminal activities at ease within the walls of these prisons.
අපි දැක්ක පහුගිය කාලේ හැම වෙයිලා වෙඩි තියලා යනවා CCTV දර්ශනත් තියෙන ඔක්කොම වෙනවා මෙච්චර පුංචි රටේ අතරම් ගොඩ ගන්න බැරි වෙන තරමට මේ මහ ලොකු දුරට කොළඹින් එළියට පැනලා ගිහිල්ලා නැහැනේ
අපි හඳුනාගෙන තියෙනවා අන්ඩර්වර්ල්ඩ් එකේ යටතේ කටයුතු කරන පුද්ගලයන්ගේ නාම ලේඛනය. එයාලගේ ඡායාරූපත් හඳුනාගෙන එයාලා පදිංචි ස්ථානත් හඳුනාගෙන ඒකින් විදේශගතවල ඉන්න ප්‍රමාණයත් අපි හඳුනාගෙන තියෙනවා සර්. ඒ විදේශගතවල ඉන්න ප්‍රමාණයෙන් සර් දැනට අපි රෙඩ් නෝටිස් 148ක් ලබාගෙන තියෙනවා වෙනත් රටකට සංචරණය නවත්තා ගැනීම කටයුතු සඳහා. ඒ 148 දෙනා අතරින් අපි කීප දෙනෙක් ලංකාවට ගෙන්න ගැනීමටත් හැකියාව වුණා. ඉන්දියාවේ දොළොස් දෙනෙක් එහෙම අත්අඩංගුවට අරගෙන ඉන්දියාවේ නඩු පවරුවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට. දැන් ඉන්දියාවේ ජේල් එකේ ඉන්නේ. අන්ඩර්වර්ල්ඩ් ඔක්කොම ඔපරේට් වෙන්නේ පිටරට ඉඳන්. ඊට පස්සේ අර කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් කිලින් කරන කණ්ඩායමත් අපි දැන් හඳුනාගෙන තියෙනවා. ඒ කොටස් විශේෂ කාර්ය බලකාය විසින් අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්නවා. අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න අවස්ථාවේදී සමහර අවස්ථාවලදී ගැටුම් ඇති වෙලා පහුගිය කාල අවස්ථාවේදී 3-4 දෙනෙක්ම මිය ගිය අවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා. ඉදිරියේදී තියෙන ගැටලුවක් වෙනවා. අපි මෙලෙස පුද්ගලයෙක් හඳුනා ගත්ත ගමන්ම ඒ පුද්ගලයාව ට්‍රේස් කරන්න ගිය ගමන්ම එක්ක නීති විරෝධී මාර්ග වලින් විදේශගත වීමේ ප්‍රවණතාවය දැන් 100%ක්ම තියෙනවා. දැන් හොඳම උදාහරණයක් කියලා ගත්තොත් එහෙම මේ මෑතකදී හෝමගම ප්‍රදේශයේදී සිදුවෙච්ච මිනිමැරුමක හඳයක් කියන පුද්ගලයා අපරාධයෙන් පසුව දවස් 2ක් ඇතුළත ඩුබායි වලට යන තරම් ඌට හැකියාවක් ලැබුණා. ඒ ක්‍රමය අපිට ආවරණය කරගන්න බැරි සීමාවක තියෙන ක්‍රමවේදයක්. වෙනත් ක්‍රමවේදීන් බෝට්ටු මගින් සංවිධානාත්මක අපරාධකරුවන් රෙඩ් නෝටිස් ඉල්ලුවාම ඉන්ටර්පෝල් එකෙන් කියනවා දැන් රෙඩ් නෝටිස් දෙන්න ඒගොල්ලෝ රිලැක්ටන්ස් වෙනවා. ඇයි කියන්නේ ලංකාවේ මද්ද්‍රව්‍ය ජාවාරමේ ග්‍රෑම් 5කට වඩා වැඩි නම් ශුද්ධ බරණ අපේ දඬුවම තියෙන්නේ මරණීය දණ්ඩනය. ඒ වගේම මිනිමැරුම් වල දඬුවම තියෙන්නේ මරණීය දණ්ඩනය. අපි කවදාකවත් මරණීය දණ්ඩනය ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීම සඳහා සැකකරුවෙක් උඹේ රටට ගෙනත් බාර දෙන්න අපි එකඟතාවයක් නැහැ කියලා. දැනට ඒ වගේ අපි රෙඩ් නෝටිස් 5ක් ඉදිරිපත් කරපු එක පහම ඉන්ටර්පෝල් එක රිජෙක්ට් කරගෙන තියාගෙන ඉන්නවා මෙවැනි තත්ත්වයක්. දැන් උදාහරණයක් උඩුවංචු අපි ගන්න ගියා ෆ්‍රාන්ස් වලත් ඒගොල්ලෝ නඩුවක් දැම්මා. මෙහෙත් නඩු දාලා තියෙනවා. එවැනි තත්ත්වයක් නිරීක්ෂණය වෙනවා.
එල්ලා මැරීමක් හෝ මිනිමැරුමක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරලා නැහැනේ අපි අවුරුදු ගණනාවක
1970 පසු ක්‍රියාත්මක
කරලා නැහැනේ. එතකොට අපි බොරුවට මේ නීතිය තියා ඉඳලා අපිට අර වගේ ජාත්‍යන්තරයෙන් අපිට ලබා ගන්න තියෙන සහයෝගය නැති වෙලා යනව නේද?
ඒක තිබෙතුමාලාට ගන්න පුළුවන් දින්නේ.
නේද? යෝජනා ඇවිල්ලා අපි වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ.
අපේ රටේ අපරාධ සංවිධානය වෙන තවත් ප්‍රධානම ස්ථානය තමයි බන්ධනාගාරය. කිව්ව සංඛ්‍යාවෙන් වැඩි හරියක් මේ වෙනකොට ඉන්නේ බන්ධනාගාරය. බන්ධනාගාරය ඇතුළ එයාලට එළියට වැඩිය ආරක්ෂාවයි මේවා සංවිධානය කරන්න. ඒකට අපිට ශනිකව ගන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රියාමාර්ග මේ වෙනකොට අරගෙන අපි ඒකට යම් අභ්‍යන්තර වැඩපිළිවෙලක් සකස් කරලා තියෙනවා.
Heavy rainfall is reported from several areas in the country, including from Colombo, since the early hours of the day, with the highest rainfall of over 106 millimeters is recorded from Labugama. The Met Department forecasts prevailing weather patterns likely to continue in the coming days. However, several areas in the country still remain affected by the ongoing dry weather, resulting in the drying up of many water sources and putting water supply to several parts of the country at risk.
Several areas in the country, including Colombo, have been continuing to experience heavy rains since the early hours of today. The Labugam area in Colombo had received the highest amount of rainfall, recorded at 106.3 millimeters. In this backdrop, the Natural Hazards Early Warning Centre of the Department of Meteorology issued an amber advisory for heavy rains to the western, Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces until tomorrow. Due to active southwest monsoon conditions over the island, the Met Department highlighted the possibility of the prevailing showers in southwestern part of the island to enhance. Meanwhile, the Met Department forecasts showers or thunder showers to several parts in the eastern and Uva provinces during the evening or night tomorrow. Heavy showers of over 100 millimeters are likely at some areas within the western, Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces.
Over the past 24 hours ending at 8:30 am today, higher rainfall was observed in the southwestern parts of the country, especially in the western, Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces. The highest recorded rainfall was 106.3 millimeters at Labugama in the Colombo district. Unfortunately, the north central and northern provinces of the country did not receive substantial rainfall during this period, and this trend is expected to continue over the next few days as well. In general, weather forecast for tomorrow, shower conditions are expected to persist in the southwestern parts of the island today and tomorrow. Showers or thunder showers are likely to occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, southern, central provinces may experience heavy showers with rainfall reaching up to 100 millimeters. In the evening or night, several places in the eastern and Uva provinces are expected to experience showers or thunder showers. Therefore, the general public is advised to take adequate precautions to minimize the damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers.
The water level of the river Guinea Gall has risen owing to the prevailing rainfall in the region. Tea plantations in the area were inundated as a result. Farmers in Mahagodayaya in Walasmulla raised concerns about a paddy field named Walapuranayaya being gradually destroyed owing to heavy rainfall. Meanwhile, taking the rainy weather patterns into consideration, the National Building Research Organisation issued a Level 1 early landslide warning to areas in the Gaul, Kalutara, K-Gaul and Ratnapura districts. Reservoir engineers say that even if the water catchment areas of Castlereagh and Moussa Calais receive rainfall at times, it is not sufficient to contribute to improve water levels of reservoirs. Meanwhile, officials of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board are also of the view that 39 water sources continue to be at risk, although many areas are receiving rainfall. Certain areas like Polonnaruwa are still severely affected by dry weather conditions. The ongoing drought conditions are also severely affecting cultivation in the country. In the Ampara district, the water level of the Sagama reservoir has gone down to 400 acre-feet from its total capacity of 4,430 acre-feet. Taking the water level of the reservoir into consideration, the water board highlighted that drinking water could be supplied to the residents of the area for only a duration of 2 weeks.
ගොඩමඩ පෙරලි කරන බලපුළුවන් කාරයා මහින්ද්‍රා යුවෝ ටීමෝ වෙතින්. වැඩම ගොඩයි ගොඩම තමයි ස්වරාජ් ට්‍රැක්ටර් ටීමෝ වෙතින්.
The Global Finance magazine has graded Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe as one of the A-grade central bank governors in their latest central banker report cards. Global Finance revealed that 21 central bank governors had been rated A-grade in the Global Finance Central Banker Report Cards 2023 due to their originality, creativity and tenacity in fighting inflation.
Global Finance's Central Bank Report Cards, published annually since 1994, grade the central bank governors of 101 key countries, territories and districts, including the European Union, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the Bank of Central African States, and the Central Bank of West African States. Grades are based on a scale from A to F for success in inflation control, economic growth goals, currency stability, and interest rate management. According to Global Finance, A represents an excellent performance, while F represents outright failure. Global Finance revealed that 21 central bank governors had earned an A grade in the Global Finance Central Banker Report Cards. It is notable that Sri Lanka's Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe is named among the 21 governors with A grade rating. The A-grade governors list also include Governor of Reserve Bank of India Sri Saktikanta Das, Governor of Swiss National Bank Thomas J. Jordan, and Governor of the State Bank of Vietnam Nguyen Thi Hong. According to the Global Finance founder and editorial director, Global Finance's annual Central Banker Report Card celebrates the bank governors whose strategies outperform their peers through originality, creativity, and tenacity in fighting inflation, which has been fueled by pent-up demand and disrupted supply chains.
And Sri Lanka's agriculture exports have earned a revenue of over 8.6 billion rupees so far in 2023. According to the Development Director of the Department of Agriculture, Upul Ranavira, considering the last 5 years, the Department of Export Agriculture has managed to earn the highest foreign exchange from the export of crops so far this year. He added that 347,771 metric tons have been exported up to June 2023, earning a revenue of 8.66 billion rupees to Sri Lanka. Further, he said that crops such as cinnamon, cloves and black pepper have contributed mainly, while much foreign exchange was also earned through the export of date palm. Now, elsewhere, Canada's economy unexpectedly contracted in the second quarter at an annualized rate of 0.2%, and growth was most likely flat in July, a result that will probably allow the central bank to hold rates amid a possible recession. Now, the second quarter reading was far lower than the Bank of Canada's forecast for a 1.5% annualized GDP growth, as well as a 1.2% gain expected by analysts. June gross domestic product declined 0.2% from May, in line with forecasts. The quarterly slowdown was largely due to declines in housing, investment and smaller inventory accumulation, as well as slower international exports and household spending. In June, Canadian wildfires adversely impacted multiple industries, including mining and quarrying and rail transport. Friday's GDP report is the last major piece of domestic data before the BOC makes its next policy decision on Wednesday next week. 31 of 34 economists have polled by Reuters between August 24th to 30th expect no change to the central bank's overnight rate at the meeting. Chairman of the Derana Media Network, Dilip Jayaveda, emphasizes that the concept of new media is a challenge and an opportunity at the same time, adding that new media can be considered as a turning point in communications. Speaking at an event, the entrepreneur highlighted that the opportunities of new media should be utilized wisely and responsibly.
Sinhala Media Unit of Visaka Vidyalaya organised Pragamana 2023, a Communication Day celebration. Veteran journalist Mohan Samaranayaka and chairman of the Derana Media Network, Dilip Jayaveda, attended as chief guests of the event, while several other experts from the media industry were also present at the event.
New media කියන්නේ අපිට අභියෝගයක් හා අවස්ථාවක් ලබා දී තිබෙනවා. sannivedanaye හැරවුම් ලක්ෂයක් තමයි මේ නව මාධ්‍ය. එනිසා මේ දරුවන් sannivedanaya ගැන කතා කරනකොට විශේෂයෙන්ම සැලකිය යුතු කාරණය තමයි තමන් සමාජශීලී වෙනවා වගේම තමන් සමාජ වගකීම් වෙන පුද්ගලෙක් බවට පත් වෙනවා නම් මාධ්‍ය පරිහරණය කරන්නෙක් හෝ මාධ්‍ය නිර්මාණය කරන්නෙක් හැටියට තමන්ට ලබා දී නව මාධ්‍යෙන් ලබා දී ඇති අවස්ථාව කෙතරම් දුරට වගකීව හැකි වගකීව යුතු ආකාරයෙන් භාවිතා කරනවාද කියලා.
610 contestants representing 53 schools participated in the All-Ireland Inter-School Communication Competition held in line with the Communication Day. Certificates and trophies were also awarded during the ceremony. Meanwhile, Ananda College in Colombo won an Excellence Award for a majority number of winners in the competition.
And that wraps up tonight's edition of First at 9 on AdaDerana 24. I'm Indivariya Muatta. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.